how do you manage your content, especially content localization for Australia? And then you have a lot of clients in US, and then you have some client base in Pakistan as well.
Is 100% worth it in the long run. Because in the short run, if I'm going to, tell you all the problems that I'm having,
Into sourcing and that kind of stuff. What do you think 2025 in terms of sourcing or in terms of product development is going to
brands
look?
who are actually like worldwide in Australia as well, and then they're expanding in all of the Germany, Europe side as well. So of course, they are very big brands, and they can
Tell me,
actually.
like, you are one of the people that has been, helping people achieve their Amazon dreams, So tell me that,
Right? So you can literally rank on any keywords, whatever you want, and we are having
uh,
actually, I guess, it's 15 to 16% cost, like overall somewhere, right? So you don't need to wait for the right time. You actually need to make time right for you.
Assalamu alaikum, Ebaad. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam, I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's the Australian life treating you?
Honestly speaking, it's pretty tough, but I'm just done with the masters, and yeah, that's it pretty much. And other than that, the Amazon stuff, the agency, and all this stuff. So yeah, it's hectic, but okay.
Awesome, awesome. So, when usually Americans say that, Australian life is tough, they usually mean the wildlife that Australia has. But coming from Desi background, when we say tough, it's a whole different, a lot of tough where, you have to manage everything and,
That's right.
settle into the new life while, trying to figure out a lot of stuff. So yeah, I understand. So how's the journey has been so far for you, and what are your plans there? Yeah.
If I talk specifically about Australia, honestly, we have been listening to Sunny Ali for a very long time, and our basic goal is to get second passport, right? And that is a
Yeah.
like actual goal, but of course, it's not an easy path. You have to follow the steps, you have to follow the rules, and like again, every country has, especially these tier one countries, you cannot mess with the rules, right? You have to
Yeah.
come up with a plan, and you need to follow that plan. So of course, like if I talk about myself, I came here on study visa, and I've just graduated my master's from Australia.
Awesome.
And yeah, so you actually need to study. It's not that
Congratulations, by
hard.
the way. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's not that hard, but it's not that easy as well, because like if you're on a student visa, you have a lot of limitations, such as you don't have complete work rights, right? And then you cannot get a full-time working job, because everything is documented in terms of like we all have a tax file number. So even if you are paid,
Yeah.
you are going to paid via that number. If you don't have that number, you can get cash, jobs, but that's sort of not legal. But again, we
Yeah,
have a lot of
I understand.
yeah, cash jobs as well. But in cash jobs, they are going to like exploit you. Honestly, they're gonna pay you less, hourly rate, and it depends. But yeah, like as a student, it's very hard because you have 24 hours, working limit, and yeah, like you have to follow the rules in order to keep. And then again, you need to save the fees, like the financial you can say this expenses are very very high, so you have to keep up with those things as well, then the educational fees, and then the education itself as well. So it's just sort of your whole routine, your day is going to be just completely busy, and people think that you became a bada
Yeah.
admi
Yeah.
when you go abroad. But yeah, it's the reality. It's just very tough.
Yeah, and for the listeners, I want to tell you guys that when I started working in Amazon, I got a job and then I was learning Amazon. And on LinkedIn, I still remember that conversation that I had with Ibad. Like I was telling him that I also do Amazon, and he was like, "Okay, so do you know there is an Extreme Commerce by Sunny Ali page?" And he was like, please join that. And it was in 2021, 2022, and then I joined that page, and then I learned about all of these things. Before that, I was already working in Amazon, but I had no idea that whole community exists where everything is. And and that's the major reason, trickle down the fact where I am doing the podcast today, because I realized there is
Amazing.
such a big community. So
That's
yeah,
right.
you have been part of, you have been a very big influence in making this happen. So yeah. I wanted to give you a shout out on that. So, and other than that, how's the Australian life? Like, I understand the tier one country and being a student is very hard, but other than that, how's the lifestyle for you? Like, do you think that you can merge into the lifestyle, or do you not like it, or how's that going for you? Like, what do you think?
Honestly speaking, it's like all tier one countries. Like I'm gonna be very much open, but I think the life is gonna be 10x, 20x better than the life is in Pakistan, right? Because you have all the facilities. You're not going to be be missing out because if you want to do something, you can actually do here, right? Because like for example, if you want to eat somewhere good, if you want to buy something good, you can actually do that because it's very easy for
Yeah,
you to purchase anything. Even if you want to buy like lavish phones, laptops, cameras, anything.
yeah,
You can get it on, like installments, almost literally 0% interest, right? So you can get in 2 years, 3 years plan, and like we have already done that, right? But again, it's
yeah,
sort of the thing that these countries gonna be, just gonna keep you in this loop of the credit. So you need to play smart. But other than that, honestly, like the facilities in terms of like internet, electricity, gas, everything, so you have literally everything. And it's not that hard to maybe get a car here. You can literally maybe rent out. You can There are a lot of companies you can actually buy your own car as well, and it's not that difficult. Even if save like 2 3 months, 4 months, you can actually get a pretty decent car. I'm not talking about lavish cars, but you can actually
mm,
get a car that can that's just pretty, like in Pakistan that's going to be very good, but in here it's just going to be a simple car, but it's just going to fulfill all your needs. So yeah, it's much better than you're having in Pakistan, and it's totally worth it. Like how I see is like coming to abroad is 100% worth it in the long run, because in the short run, if I'm going to tell you all the problems that I'm having, I don't want to demotivate students or newcomers or people like that, but like you have to compare the long term like effect as compared to short term run. I know I'm going to struggle in short run, but again I'm going to see the results in the long run. Like I can literally compare 5 years of a person who's living abroad, maybe US, UK, Canada, or Australia, and then a person who's living in Pakistan. You can see a major huge gap in between those two individuals, right? So yeah, it's totally worth moving, Australia, USA, UK, Canada. Yeah.
yeah. Makes a lot of sense as well. So with that topic down, I'm gonna move to the other topic, which is, do you really think that life in Pakistan can be made as equal to the life in Australia? Like what, or is it not possible? For example, if
Um,
somebody lives in Pakistan and he thinks that we can create the same life that people have in Australia.
I guess it's possible, but again, you need to be in the right community. You need to be with the right people, and you need to be with those who are actually making ton of money, in Pakistan. Because, like, of course, we do have this extreme commerce community. We have a community of investors. Now there is charting in Pakistan as well, and there are a lot of markets, a lot of people who are making good share of money, like via internet, right? So, like, if you are serious about online income, and if you find ways, but you need to be very smart. Honestly speaking, it's not applicable on all of the individuals, because like that is the main reason we're not getting the outcomes as we should. Because for example, if there is a someone launches a course now, if there is someone who has maybe done metric or like FSC or something, and if there is someone who has done his bachelor's or maybe master's, so their picking power, their level of intelligence is going to be completely different. So the outcomes are like again completely different. But you can actually create. I do know a lot of people who are actually having a good life, pretty decent life in Pakistan. But the main problem is that living in Pakistan, you have less resources. Then again, you need networking.
Yeah,
Maybe go to Dubai. You can have like you don't need to be in Taiwan countries. You can go to countries that are like near to Pakistan. Like Dubai is one of the good example. You can actually create a company, have zero taxes, and you can actually solve your payment problems over there, right? So that's
yeah,
gonna be a smart way to do things if you don't wanna do the hard path and take PR and stuff. So it's a very long journey. It's a journey of at least 4 to 5 years from student to taking PR or like second passport. So yeah, like my answer would be you can actually, but you need to be very smart. You need to have consistent income. You need to be with the right people, and then consistent growth and consistent efforts. So yeah, I guess it's possible, but it's not applicable for everyone. But if I talk about like in Australia, or maybe USA, UK, even if you don't have the skills, even if you don't have like the right maybe career as well, you can actually make enough money to have a good life and then send back money at
Yeah,
home. And like even like I know a lot of taxi drivers, Uber drivers, they are again in the loop, but like other than that,
yeah,
they're supporting their families as well, and they're
yeah.
living a pretty decent life here as well. So yeah, it's just totally worth it comparison to what we are doing in Pakistan. Yeah.
My answer was gonna be, we cannot compare the infrastructure that they have because the infrastructure is so advanced. And currently in Pakistan, nobody is working on the infrastructure. And the way I give that example is, in Dubai they are working on 2050 vision 2050. And in Pakistan, we literally don't know if the government is going to sustain for the next year or not. So that's the difference that we are having. To be very honest, like nobody knows that if this government is going to stay for another year or not, and that kind of thing, makes everyone very insecure. So, if, for example, if there is a policy maker, for example, bureaucracy is a policy maker. So what they are going through is they don't know if if they are going to be in the power for next 10 or 20 years. And if they know that, then they might be working on 10 or 20-year plan. But since they are not, so they are working on 1 year or 6 month plan, where they are able to just squeeze out something, or at least give temporary relief to the people. Because you know uh, if you want to make a nation, you need at least 20, 30, 40, 50 years, where you are like, okay, everyone in the country is going to do this. That's how China was made. That's how other countries were made. Like, they were like, okay, for 50 years we are going to just do this, and that's how we are going to rise to the top. Even for Japan, I was reading about it, and they were saying that actually it was encouraged that people work overtime, and then people work more than overtime. Like 80 hour a week was considered loyalty to the country, and even people used to put in 100 hours a week just to show their loyalty to the country. Like, they are so loyal that they are working on it. And it's kind of a bizarre concept, because we are unable to put in 4 hours if you talk about the government employees. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the kind of thing that we are going through. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because infrastructure plays a huge role, I think. Other than that, Ebaad, tell me, like, you are one of the people that has been helping people achieve their Amazon dreams. So tell me that, how has Amazon changed, especially in the last year? Because the last year was very uncertain. So I'm talking about 2024. It has been a very uncertain year. So how was your clients with you, and how did you see the market change? I personally have seen a lot of downturn in the market. So how was it for you, or was there any brand that grew actually?
Honestly, so we have, like mixed case studies, we can say. So our like Europe side went really bad due to the VAT issues. So we had like our own partnerships as well with one, two, clients, and like it was going really great. It still is. It's still selling, but again, the VAT issue, it really almost you can say shut down all of the accounts because like the clients who are actually started to make money and they've been getting money out of Amazon, but like for example if they're selling for 2 years and if they have like let's say like we had one client who had like almost around like you can say more than 150 170 k sales 170,000. So yeah, 20% is a lot of money for them, right? Putting
Yeah,
back into the business. And then like because it's just 20% is simple going to be VAT, right? And for example, even if the margin is 40%, so 20% is your VAT, and then the PPC and other stuff, that's completely different separate thing. So it was a very, very, very big, you can say, disaster for all our clients, and some of the clients literally gave up. I'm gonna be very honest. So we actually lost, you can say, almost 99% of the clients from Europe side. It's just like we were working with one, two brands who are actually like worldwide in Australia as well, and then they're expanding in all of the Germany, Europe side as well. So of course they are very big brands and they can actually cover that cost, right? But for like for small sellers it was very, very like bad disaster in some Europe. In terms of USA, I guess it's pretty slow, but it's going okay so far, right? So I cannot say that it's a complete disaster, or like, of course, the market has not been good. But again, we are just focused on the good sides. We are just focusing on, product development and stuff. So like the better we can work on the product side than the sourcing side. And like I honestly personally believe that every single step on Amazon is crucial, right? So like we cannot say that
Yeah.
product is leaking, but we need to do a lot of research. Like, of course, we all know these big influencers in terms of Amazon, even in Pakistan, in USA. So like we do know a lot of agencies and stuff. So yeah, like our goal is to learn from the gurus who are running million-dollar agencies and stuff, and people who have been selling for a very long time, and just improve the process. So what we are focusing right now is just improving the process, doing as much research as we can, maybe work on the product as much as we can, and then again sourcing and stuff. The better profit margin, the better it is for the launch. And like
Yeah.
our yeah, like the simple launch is simply via PPC. And in most cases, like in almost like 90% of the cases, it's going okay, right? It's not complete disaster. So yeah, that's what we are working and focusing right now.
Awesome, awesome. So, Ibad, tell me, like you have been, into sourcing and that kind of stuff. What do you think 2025 in terms of sourcing or in terms of product development is going to look like? Because I personally think now it is more into the manufacturing and designing side. The sourcing has moved there. Because I think now all the products that Chinese were manufacturing, they are already on the Amazon. I'm not so sure, what are your insights on that? Because I think we need to start innovating, but what's
That's
your thoughts?
so true. So honestly speaking, how we work is we actually don't, like, I know that most of the people don't copy paste the products, but in terms of the research, what we try, like, we can say we are just focused on new designs. Even if the product is same, we are actually launching 80% of the products via new design. Even if the product is generic, like again, for the generic things are going to be different, but if product has
Yeah, yeah,
multiple
makes sense.
multiple variations and stuff like that. So like how we work is in terms of sourcing is like, it's not basic reaching out to suppliers. So we're gonna reach out to Alibaba 1688, but right now we are focused 100% on manufacturers rather than the middle person. We have been like you can say in 2023 to 2024, I've been working with B2B agencies and stuff. So like literally we have launched more than 600 plus products, right? So we were actually in touch
Awesome.
with, like, in touch with hundreds and thousands of suppliers, you can say. Like every single day we have to reach out 50, 100 suppliers, and then like the grouping and stuff. So we were actually in contact with the factories, like the direct manufacturers. But recently we have been sourcing literally 100% from 1688, like for our, like for my own brand in Australia. So we are actually moving forward just from 1688, and we are not using Alibaba for payments. We are just using Source Guy as a, you can say, freight forwarder. So they're actually helping us with the payments and stuff. But yeah, again, like right now you can say, like the way the suppliers communicate with us, this actually shows a lot of things that, okay, is this the right supplier? And that of course comes with experience. But there are a lot of precautions that you can do. I'll just answer the first questions of the development. So yeah, again, there are a lot of suppliers who have literally just have the same product or copied and pasted, right? So you need to be very very sure about the patent thing. Like just make sure the product don't have patent. And then how we reach out to suppliers is we actually take their catalogs, right? So instead of
Mm-hmm.
reaching out at, okay, we just need this one, we're going to reach out to suppliers and giving them the idea of our product. That's okay, this is the product, but we need to have different designs, maybe different variations, whatever the thing is, right? So we get their catalogs, we go through them, then we do the discussion. Okay, this is looking good, this is not looking good. We do the internal thing, and then we move forward with the suppliers again after the samples. And sorry. And again, the thing is that you need to be very very you need to take a lot of precautions in terms of sourcing. Like for example, we do a very very detailed contract. So every single thing, from just pricing to size to dimensions, to variations, or every single thing is mentioned in that contract. Even the dimension of the packaging, or the cartons should not be exceeding that Amazon guidelines. Everything is inside. It's just a very detailed contract. I've already made
Yeah,
videos on
yeah.
YouTube about that. So like again, the more like information you have about the product, the better it is going to be for you and for your, the sourcing with the supplier, the communication, and then the launch on Amazon as well. So this is like all the precautionary steps you can say that we can take. And then yeah, like the sourcing thing is like yeah, like that's it pretty much. And then shipping, for the shipping we actually use just like literally from the past 2 years I've been using Source Guy. I actually did use other companies as well. You must know Kalim HK, so he's is pretty good. So we have used other companies as well, but in terms of Source Guy, he has been very patient with us. He has been very good in terms of business. So yeah, like it's pretty awesome experience with Source Guy as well. So yeah, that's it pretty much for the sourcing side.
Uh-huh. Makes a lot of sense. Now, Ivan, I'm going to switch gears and ask you a very different question, and that is, you mentioned that you have been making some content on YouTube and other things as well. So, how do you manage your content? Especially content localization for Australia, and then you have a lot of clients in US, and then you have some client base in Pakistan as well. So how do you manage that content and that client base and then that localization?
Okay. Yeah, recently I've been very slow with the content side. But again, from the, I guess, past literally 1 year, it's just been almost 1 years. 1 year, we have been very much focused on the like the content side for the connector for our agency. So we have like very amazing person who's working with us and who's managing all of the content thing. And then like for me is like we are honestly speaking, we're 100% focused on like other countries, not Pakistanis. I know it's a bit rude as well,
Yeah, 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 I
because
understand. No, I
honestly,
understand. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
I am actually working with Pakistanis as well, but like in most cases the experience has not been good, and my content is not specifically for Pakistanis, honestly speaking, right? That is purely in English, and that is purely focused on other clients, other countries, rather than just in Pakistan, right? So like my
the
content
reason
would
I
be.
asked this question is because even in the English language, there is certain dialects and inflections. So that's where my question was headed. So yeah,
Yeah, I know. Like, of course, recently everyone is, like, of course, we are all have an educational background, and we can speak English, and it's pretty awesome and it's pretty good as well, and it literally helps a lot of people. But again, different people have different motives, and I personally believe, like, living in Australia, people living in Pakistan won't be understanding the actual financial difficulties having in Australia, right? Because for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
if
Makes
is
sense.
paying me 200 $300 is literally going to be nothing, because like honestly speaking, like my rent is literally like 4x the amount of what Pakistanis
Yeah,
expect, right? So if we pitch them as an agency, so they literally come to us and say, okay, we don't need you because we have a lot of VAs in Pakistan who can literally do the same thing in like for like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
25 the price, right? So yeah, it's fine. Like honestly, if that doesn't work with you, that's fine as well. But living in Australia, working in Australia, managing everything, I need to focus on the clients that can actually pay me probably hourly, or even if the project that should make sense to me living here, right? So yeah, that's the
Yeah,
major
it was
difference.
actually the. Can I stop you just for a second?
Right.
So the reason I asked this question is, because the even English in Australia, Aussie English and American English and then UK English are different. So that's where my question was headed. Like, how do you manage that? Because obviously your English is mixture of both. So how are you managing that? Because Aussies have a very different English and it's very difficult because one of my
Yes,
clients is Aussie. So it's very difficult to understand him and then it's even difficult to reply to him. So yeah,
you honestly cannot understand like Aussies here. So either you
yeah,
need to, stop them and say them to, speak slowly. But again, like we do have, 2, 3 Australian clients as well. I've been working with like a
awesome.
big manufacturer here as well, who's been doing, the distributor thing all over Australia and as well. And we're working with like one brand who has been into, the retailer and on Amazon for the past 20 years as well. So they've been like literally everywhere. So like again, we do have Australian clients as well, but honestly speaking, they've been very kind to us because they do understand that we are not first you can say language speakers, right? So
Yeah.
they're kind. They don't mock us. They don't say anything. If they don't understand, they just say to repeat. So it's pretty okay. Like it's not that complicated. But again, in terms of content, I'm not 100% focused on that thing. So it's just pretty basic. And yeah, like it's I guess I've never thought so deeply into this content
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, I
Is
understand. I understand
like
you.
focus on the marketing side, and that's it pretty much.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so next question is that based like you just mentioned that you are launching a product in Australian marketplace as well. So the question is, which marketplace personally would you go for? Like obviously you are launching it in Australia. What's the reason for that? And then why not USA? And whichever has faster shipping, like if you are sourcing from China, is Australia faster or slower? Because it's a
Yeah.
completely different side of the world. So
Honestly
yeah,
speaking, yeah, if you want me, what is the best market to launch? I'll always say USA. That's our favorite marketplace. And that
yeah,
is a very huge marketplace. Honestly, you can make a lot of money in USA marketplace. But why I actually like it's not just me, of course, I do have my partner as well,
yeah.
like my co-founder of the connector. So we both are actually, doing this launches and
Awesome.
launching
Yeah,
our
makes
brand.
sense.
So yeah, I'll explain you why we did it in Australia. So I actually had Amazon account like from the past 2 years, but for some reason, living in Pakistan, I made when I was back in Pakistan, and then all those
Mm-hmm.
verification issues, it was very very hectic, and it was honestly deactivated for like maybe 1 to 1.5 years. Then it was activated again, and then I fixed all the marketplaces. The reason for starting in Australia was because I actually, tested some of the products here in Australia and it was working okay. You cannot say that one product is going to make you a lot of money, but we have been
Yeah,
selling 8 products right now, right? And we are actually trying to increase those, maybe add some variations. And like, again, like not all of 8 products are working. 4 products are working, 4 are, selling very slow, and we're
yeah,
not going
yeah,
to
makes sense.
those four. So in Australian marketplace, it's very slow. You need to do a lot of testing. And my reason for launching in Australia was that it's not, very small market. You can actually, if you have, more products, and maybe you can, have sales of each and individual products. So you can, actually make good amount of revenue in Australia as well. And the reason for launching in Australia is that I won't be having verification issues since I am in Australia. I have
Yeah,
all the methods, I have all the banks and stuff. So I am not going to have any issues with the verification. So that is the main reason, launching in Australia. And
yeah,
I
makes
that competition is very less. Like honestly, is very, very less, right? So you can literally rank on any keywords, whatever you want. And we are having
yeah,
actually, I guess, it's 15 to 16% of cost, like overall for all the products,
awesome.
even the products that are not performing well. Our like lifetime cost is like, like it's been just 4 months. But our lifetime
Awesome.
cost is like it's 15-16%. That's it pretty much. And you can literally rank
Yeah,
with zero reviews as well. As long as you're providing the value and your products are good, people do buy that, right? And I honestly used to think that eBay is going to be bigger marketplace in Australia as comparison to Amazon. But when I switched to Amazon, again, man, Amazon is crazy. Amazon
yeah,
has the best customers, and people do buy stuff from Amazon. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it's pretty great as well because some people were launching in Saudi and Dubai, so that's what I was thinking that it's actually better to launch in Australia as well because it's a very better marketplace. Also, the one thing that plays a very huge role, I personally think, is average wage of a person. So if you average out the wage, so you can understand if your $20 $50 product is gonna work here or not. For example, if you launch at $50 or $100 product in Pakistan, the chances of it succeeding are very less. But if you do that in Australia, that's very high. So that's what I was thinking. That's where my question was headed. So yeah. But Ibad, on your personally, like, what do you think? Because Australia is so big, like even you have to take flights to go from Perth to Sydney and stuff like that. So how does Amazon's fulfillment work? Like, is it as fast as everywhere else, or is it a bit slower?
It's that fast, honestly. Like FBA works much better because I've been doing FBM initially like 2-3 months, and then I've literally switched to FBA because the main reason is that like again, it's not just Amazon. There are a lot of other companies here as well who can literally ship your product within 1 day as well, even if it's much
Awesome.
far from where I'm living. So like they do have resources, man. So like everything is, they have everything in order. So like
Okay,
the
yeah.
shipping is not an issue in terms of Amazon or other companies as well. But the main advantage of FBA is like even if the order is coming from another like the state and stuff. So Amazon is going to charge us the same amount, but for, like I was doing FBM, and some of the orders like within Melbourne it was very cheap, and then the other orders from other states, so it was getting quite expensive. But yeah,
Yeah,
again, it
yeah.
was good experience in both ways. But like right now I'm trying my best to switch it 100% to FBA. So yeah, that's the main thing. And yeah, shipping is not an issue for Amazon. They have
Yeah,
amazing
no,
logistics.
awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. My one package is stuck in Lahore and it cannot come anytime soon because Islamabad is on the lockdown. So yeah, shout out to PTI.
There's a lot of issues in
Nobody
Pakistan.
is coming in Islamabad. Nobody is coming in Islamabad.
So true.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the perk of. Khair, anyways, so tell me about what moves you? Like, what's the thing that motivates you to work?
Honestly speaking, it's money.
Yeah. Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
like that, of course, that's the biggest motivator. But other than that, again, I guess, like honestly, I've been like, I do come from a very middle class family, so we have seen the bad days as well. We have like literally, I'm having the good days. Like honestly, I've achieved a lot of stuff. I personally feel like,
Awesome.
and I guess, Alhamdulillah, I'm very blessed that I've achieved a lot of things in just maybe 4 years of
Mashallah, yeah.
span, 4 years of time, and like literally things have been changed a lot for me. And like I don't know if it's just the motivation, it was the prayers or anything, but again, I do give credit to Sunny Ali, for like launching the courses free BBC.
Yeah.
So it has literally, I know that people have been commenting a lot about other stuff, but again, in terms of
Yes.
like I do feel I still follow his advices, you can say, or the
Yeah, yeah.
legacy he created, the life lessons, that's very applicable in all of our lives, right? So if we understand
Yeah.
how life works, if you understand our finances, if you understand how we need to move forward from here and what are we going to do in the next 5 years, you can literally turn around your life, right? And I feel like
Yeah. Yeah.
extreme commerce has actually turned around my life, like from having like I was actually teaching kids when I was in Pakistan. I was doing my bachelor's
Awesome.
and I was literally making 20K a month, right? For like straight 2 years. And 20K is literally nothing in Pakistan, right? If you are, studying in a good
Yeah.
university,
Yeah.
the fee was almost like 1.2 lakh something, and then you need to manage all your expenses. But I've been working my whole life, you can say. I've been working from the age of 16. So I used to work in call center when I was 16 years old. I didn't have my ID card as well. So
Yeah. I
I've come,
understand the risk.
had a very long journey. But again, I guess my turning point is by joining extreme commerce. And then like I've spent a lot of money in terms of courses. So I've been a student of extreme commerce bootcamp, and I've been a student of like all these gurus that came in Pakistan, e-commerce success Pakistan. I've been there, paid member as well. I've been paid member of Brackley dropshipping. So I've like spent a lot of money on the growth. So I've never thought about spending money on myself, on my growth, on my courses. Like again, in Australia, people do say, you have spent a lot of money and you just came to Australia, and like my degree is very 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 expensive, right? Just like almost
Yeah.
60
Yeah. It is.
it's just for a degree. And people used to say that you can make the same amount of money, because like most of my money was from the agency side, right? So people used to say that, okay, why are you spending so much money on your education? I mean, like literally people think their degree is nothing, but I personally feel like it gives you a lot of opportunities. So like it's not always about the degree, it's not always about the education, but sometimes things gives you opportunities. For example, if I have the second passport, if I have Australian degree, I will have a better chance, a better opportunity than a person who's living in Pakistan, maybe even if he has a degree as well, right? Because like again, at the end of the day, you have to compare. And people do compare. It's just not the people, it's the jobs as well. If you have graduated from maybe NUST, and if you graduated from maybe NAML, of course there is going to be a huge difference in the development of the person as well. And then again, of course, good universities have their own curriculum as well. So like again, like if I talk about myself, studying in Beria was one of the good decisions, because even if I've done BBA, which is like literally is considered nothing in Pakistan, right? BBA is a very very basic degree which literally anyone can do, but I feel like it has literally shaped me in a better way. I do understand how business works. I do
Yeah,
understand the marketing, finance side, and everything. So I feel like it has contributed to my life, right? No matter what happens,
yeah.
I still like all these things. If you're going to spend money on yourself, it's going to be worth it sooner or later.
Yeah, yeah. The way I see university degrees is like I was telling this to my friend as well, that if you want to study, like if you are into studying, then pick the best university you can possible. And the reason is because then your circle of friends is going to be really good people. You know, you can choose whichever you want, because we know some universities have particular type of people. So choose the best ones that you can get, because those people are going to be your friends after 5 years, 5 7 years down the line. Like we all know that HSN college story, that anyone who goes to HSN college turns out to be the politician for next 20 or 30 years. So they all know each other. And then I was reading that I was looking like I was listening to this Aftab Iqbal interview where he was telling us that how when he was back in USA, like he was studying, uh, the CEO of Geo News used to be his roommate. So so that's the thing. Like obviously, maybe he never knew that that guy is gonna become a Geo News CEO. It was in 80s or 90s, but things go, like life is awfully long. Like life is long. Life is 20 years, 30 years, 50 years long, and 50 years down the line, you are like, okay, this guy used to be my roommate. So that's the kind of stories that you can get out of
Yeah,
your
like
school or your college.
honestly, like my stance on this, degree is gonna help you be a better person, but honestly, it's not gonna, like the student, like the teachers are not gonna, hold your hand and gonna tell you, okay, do this, do
Yeah,
that. You have to make way for yourself, so you cannot actually blame the institute 100%. Again, if like they're gonna teach you the basic stuff, right? So they're not gonna
yeah,
teach you very very advanced stuff. You need to go and like I guess we don't have that maybe thing to go and dig deeper into stuff. We're just so much dependent on our institutes, and it's very easy to blame institutes, right? Like
yeah,
honestly, like 90% of the people, or the students, maybe 80% of students literally go to university just to have fun and just to do degree, right? Because in
yeah,
Pakistan, it's not the culture to do jobs side by side
yeah,
and doing the bachelor's, right? And that's a very, I guess, bad thing in Pakistan, because one needs to do jobs, one need to get out, and I guess the only people who are doing jobs are the ones who are financially weak. That's it. Because I've
yeah,
graduated from very, and most of the students are comes from a very good background. So yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah,
were just there for the degree, and I was there for the degree as well, honestly speaking. But I used to teach kids because I had to make some money
yeah,
and
yeah. Makes sense.
handle the financial stuff. But again, I guess in Pakistan the culture is very different, right? And then again,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the end of
very
the
different
day,
culture.
it's very easy to do the bachelor's and then just blame the institute, to blame the degree or the teachers that But again, some people from that class is going to make money. Some people from that class is going to be ahead of you, and the reason for that is that they are doing something different that you're not doing, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess you shouldn't be just blaming everyone, and just look deep into what you can do, what are your expertise, and how you can add value. Maybe in some company, maybe online world is very very you can say big. So just find your way.
yeah, yeah. That's true as well. And nowadays, I think the best thing about internet, or best thing about this online world, is that you can do degree in anything, like anything you like. Like if you like finance, go do finance. If you like maths, go do maths, and then figure out the best freelancing job that is out there for maths, or best online job that is for chemist. and then start doing that, and you will be financially set, and you will be working remotely as well. Like a lot of people text me and ask me, like, we are going into computer sciences, or we are going into Amazon, or we are going into certain stuff, so that we can have a remote job. And I'm like, you can have a remote job of anything, because literally everything is online now. So yeah, that's where I'm
Absolutely.
coming from. So Ibad, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really means a lot. We have to cap it at 40 minutes, so it's 38 minutes already. So do you have any closing remarks or any advice that you would like to leave us with?
I guess my advice would be, just start from somewhere, right? So you don't need to wait for the right time. You actually need to make time right for you. And
Awesome.
if you wanna, like do something, just pick one successful person and just, like follow that person 100%. I've been listening to Tony Robbins, I've been listening to very very big influencers, and they just say to model that person, just do everything, because they are doing something differently that you are not doing. And if you just follow that person 100%, you can actually turn around your life, right? And there are a lot of influencers, a lot of millionaires, billionaires in the world. So just start looking for them, just start with the basic keywords, just start following them, and change your probably friends, and just start from somewhere. And and
Change
you,
difference, yeah.
you're gonna
That's a good one as
enjoy.
well, yeah.
Not honestly, like one person can have different set of friends, but if that person is wise
Yeah,
enough, like I do have friends who are into chill and stuff, and I do have friends who are in e-commerce. I do have friends who are making ton shit of money. But yeah, like you can actually have
yeah,
those friends, but you need to be wise enough to know how to
yeah.
handle those stuff, right? So yeah, just start from somewhere and be wise, make good decisions, and yeah, just follow Sunny Lee as well. He's been very
Yeah.
good. You can actually like
Yeah.
literally listen to him and turn around your life if you want to.
Yeah.
Again, at the end of the day, you have to do everything. You have to just like be consistent with whatever you think is doing. Because when I was starting, I had just one thing in mind, that okay, this is one field that I'm gonna step in, and if I make $1 in this domain, in this field, I'm going to keep continuing it for next 6 months. If I don't make anything, I'll simply switch into another domain, another field, right? So that's the mindset they didn't need to do. But for those 6 months, I left literally everything. All my friends, I was literally working 12 to 14 hours a day, and I like just stopped everything. I was just closed in the room, and that is where like the success comes from, honestly speaking.
Awesome.
So yeah, like from there to today, when I see myself, I've literally achieved. I've like literally bought my own home in Bahria as well. So that's
Awesome.
like one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
achievement,
Mashallah.
like I've done in my life. So yeah, that's honestly, that doesn't come from doing
That's pretty
nothing.
awesome, yeah.
You have to
Mashallah, yeah.
literally spend years and years, and yeah, just get serious in life, and you're gonna figure out your way along the way.
Yeah, mashallah, mashallah. Thank you so much, Ibad, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you
Bye.
so much for having me. Thanks.